welcome to the HorrorQuest Podcast. We just had a little bit of a mishap happen where everything got cut off, and I was incredibly panicked for a minute there, but I kept my cool. So
good job, Joe. Yeah.
Speaking of which, today we have a guest host today, and that is, you've probably heard us talk about her before, and that's Tiffany, the volunteer, a.k.a. Weapon X. How you doing, Tiffany?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
Awesome. And today we have also with us an awesome guest who I've been excited to talk to for a little while now. And he is probably one of my most favorite people in the entire world, and also one of my personal heroes, and that is Mr. Lloyd Kaufman. How you doing, Lloyd?
Finally, I've gotten on a show with Tiffany, so Tromaville rejoices. Tromaville rejoices.
I'm sure it's the highlight of your career. So.
40 years of failed filmmaking. Finally, it's all worthwhile.
Oh, it's an honor. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Anytime.
HorrorQuest lives on. Thank you.
I'm sure everybody's very happy to talk to Tiffany today. So.
Anyway. Come on. You're making me feel like this special guest. I have nothing on, Lloyd. Stop.
You say you have nothing on? Tell me slow. Tell me, Tiffany, tell me a little slower. What are you wearing? But
I actually have a phone sex hotline, and we'll talk about that later, but I get paid for that. I can't do that for free.
Talk about it slow.
She actually told me before the show, Lloyd, that she just got out of the shower, so.
Oh my God.
Oh, you guys suck.
Stop. Oh, it's so hot. Joseph Toxie wants to know, what are you wearing, Joseph? Tell me real slow. Joseph.
I'm wearing nothing but a sock, and I don't have to tell you where I got it.
Oh, now I know why your name is Hard On. Anyway, what's today's topic, now that you've lost all three of your listeners, thanks to me?
Yes.
Just the three of us.
That's fine.
Anyway, I was wanting to start things off with probably the most boring of topics, and that is internet piracy and the new SOPA legislation that has been, the big talk on the internet. Of course, it's kind of not the big news story it is now. They kind of pushed it back a little bit, but I kind of think I know where Lloyd would fall on this. But I was just gonna ask what your opinion on that was, Lloyd, and also how internet piracy might affect trauma, and how you think that. What would be the best way to deal with internet piracy in the future?
Well, I'm an expert on butt piracy, so it's a slightly different topic. I've written extensively on that, and of course, I think since I'm a senior citizen, the young people know that they can look me up on IMDb or www.lloydkaufman.com and learn about my expertise in the butt piracy world. But talking about SOPA, the Stop Online Piracy Act, Troma and I I'm probably the only chief of a movie studio that's against SOPA. The movie industry has come out, including the agents and the unions and MPAA, they've all come out in favor of SOPA. I'm against it because it has nothing to do with stopping piracy. It's got nothing to do with stopping piracy. It's all about stopping competition to the giant conglomerates. So I'm very much against it, and have been writing about it, and also writing to preserve net neutrality. I've been writing about that for years, actually. I put an essay on my website about net neutrality. If you go to Troma.com or LloydKaufman.com and go to Lloyd's Roids, you can read my very erudite, which a lot of important First Amendment sites have picked up, and a lot of sites in Washington, public advocacy sites have picked it up. But it's about net neutrality and the First Amendment, and my article is on. It's under Lloyd's Roids on www.troma.com or www.lloydkaufman.com or www.younghairlessasianboys.com.
Oh, wow.
As well as a slew of public advocacy sites.
I think I know that website.
Yes. I think that's how we met.
pretty sure it was.
Tiffany's very impressed.
I'm actually repulsed because, I mean, I knew that about you, Lloyd, but I didn't know that about Joe. But thank you for bringing that to light.
Well, why would you be repulsed? You know, I've just done a public service announcement. It Gets Better, you know, that series, Dan Savage. So I've just been asked to do that public service. And being a gay married man, I don't see why I shouldn't be doing that. Obama did.
No, not at all.
So, at any rate, that should be on the internet fairly soon. Where they filmed me doing the narrative. Now they just have to edit it.
Oh, right.
That's very cool.
But talking about piracy, what do you think is the best way? You know, because piracy is a problem. I assume that even probably even especially trauma might be.
Hold on, just 1 second, 2 seconds. Yeah. Hold on 2 seconds.
Old.
Sorry, I had to change my Depends. Now, here's the way I see it. To me, the most valuable asset that somebody has. Excuse me?
Is that a duck?
Yeah, actually it was. I'm being blown up via text from my disrespectful friends.
Oh, okay.
They have duck texts?
Yeah.
How do they do that with a text?
Yeah, exactly right, yeah.
It just sounded like a duck, Lloyd. It wasn't a real duck.
Oh, so what was it?
It was actually my phone vibrating.
Oh. Wow. Where did you have it when it was vibrating? Because now I want you to tell me real slow. Where was the...
Again, I have a hotline for that.
Oh, my God. I can't stand it. It's so hot. Thank you.
Where do you stand on the subject of anal fisting, Lloyd?
Well, what I was getting at is that the most valuable thing that... check out Poultrygeist if you want to see some good fisting. Have you seen Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Well, I think that you'll see how I feel about it. And you'll see it very graphically. The most valuable thing that a person has is its time. That's much more important than money. And if a fan wants to download Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, and share it with its friends, I'm all for it. I see that as a way to publicize trauma and the movie, and eventually it will lead to revenue. And my book, Sell Your Own Damn Movie, which has just come out, propounds the notion that giving away art is, for the independent artist, a good thing, and that this whole bugaboo about piracy is a Trojan horse, or a 4X horse, that is there to stop competition. It is a vehicle by which the major studios would like to get rid of HorrorQuest and Troma and everybody else. And they've used that exact same argument countless times. I just tweeted that I received a chart from somebody, I can't remember, it may have been from techdirt.com. They published a chart, a pictograph chart that showed how many times the MPAA has cried wolf about the piracy issue. For example, when video cassettes came out, the MPAA, little companies like Troma were embracing videocassette, but MPAA and the big studios were saying, well, this is going to destroy copyright law and this is going to flood us with porno. And every time there's new technology, the cartel tries to throw a monkey wrench into the works and shut it down until they can take it over. And now they're trying to do that with the Internet. They're trying to, so this with using the same argument of copyright law and, hey, we're going to be inundated with porno. They want to take over the Internet and kick us all off and have a super highway for themselves, and you end up with what you have on TV today. The same companies owning every channel, and the Adam Sandler movie on every single channel, 24/7.
Yeah.
Although he is hilarious, I love
Oh yeah, what was that? What was that last masterpiece he was in? I loved it. Yeah,
good. He's
Jack
funny. What I like is he's incredibly funny. He's just really funny. At any rate, so that's how we stand, or at least that's how I stand on. I think file sharing has been a doorway to revenue for us. In fact, the Toxic Avenger musical, the fact that we got money for that stemmed out of the fact that I gave away the rights to two different groups of people to perform the Toxic Avenger musical, and didn't charge them for the rights, figuring, well, hey, it's going to be publicity, so that's not bad. Yeah. Maybe we'll see some people in Portland, Oregon buy our DVDs. And then same thing with Omaha. A different group wrote and directed a different Toxic Avenger musical, and they kept all the money. But meanwhile, we got a nice bump in Nebraska, where we have never had any distribution. And then finally, that attracted the Broadway producers. They heard about the Omaha, and then they actually decided, well, they would produce the Toxic Avenger musical. They contacted Bon Jovi, who did the music. David Bryan from Bon Jovi did the music. And now it ran a year on Off-Broadway, won Best Off-Broadway musical, and is coming to Broadway, apparently. I just saw it in Houston. Standing ovation. All thanks to file sharing. All thanks to giving away... by the way, are you familiar with Pi Music?
Mm-mm.
Pi Recording. P-I Recording. Recordings. P-I Recordings. You might want to check on that. Seth Rosner is the head of it. He has occasionally provided music, and you may want to interview him. It's
okay.
Pretty,
is it like just independent music, I guess?
Well, it's number one. His stuff is it's jazz, but it's always number one on the list. On the and the New York Times just did a big piece, and who knows? You know, he might be willing to do it.
Okay. Well.
If you're interested in that, I'll tell Sabrina to send you his information, because he's moving up. He's obviously much younger. He's in his 30s, I think.
I have a question for you, Lloyd.
Yes, Tiffany.
Since I know that you didn't originally even really want to make movies and that Broadway was your forte, how excited were you when you found out that the Toxic Avenger was going to get picked up in that way?
Well, again, being a gay married man and having wept through many a Barbra Streisand musical, I was delighted. Of course, I love musicals, and the Toxic Avenger musical is both witty. It's ingenious, and yet very witty, and the songs, you go out singing the songs, and it's terrific. And what's interesting is, we birthed, we distributed Cannibal the Musical, which birthed Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who now have Book of Mormon on Broadway. So if the Toxic Avenger actually makes it to Broadway, the Troma influence will be there in the form of two gayish musicals, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
If Toxie gets to Broadway, you never know if it's... But I did see the big budget musical in Houston. It opened last week and got a standing ovation. It was in a big theater with about 1,000 people, and it seemed to be very, very appreciative. And the guys who wrote the Toxic Avenger off-Broadway musical, when it played for a year, got Best Off-Broadway Musical, and the same year they also got the Tony for Best Musical, because Joe DiPietro and the Bon Jovi guy, David Bryan, won Best Musical for Memphis. So they have a grand slam going. So Toxie's got a good chance. And then somebody's remaking the movie.
Yeah, I really hope I get a chance to see it.
Well, let's hope it gets a chance to be made. Again, you never know. You just don't know how these things... All you know is that...
Go ahead.
That Troma, whatever we do ourselves, we know that that's going to happen, which is why we're not too involved with the mainstream. We kind of stick to our own little Tromaville, and we know that if we, have a project, and even though we might be making it in the underground, at least we know it's real.